Hello and welcome to MyFusion Helper. My name is Troy Broussard, and in this short little video I'm going to show you how to use the When Is It helper. Now, this is a simple little helper that really has just a very singleton purpose. It's very easy to use and it only really has limited application, but when you need it, you really need it, and so it's a great little tool to have at your asset. Now, we're going to show you how it works in Infusionsoft. We're going to show you how to set it up inside of the app, and then I'm just going to give you a couple of examples. There's really not many of when you would use it, but we will go into that as well. All right, so first things first, let's dive in and take a look at how to use it inside of the app itself. Okay, so here we are inside of MyFusion Helper, and the first thing that you want to do is go in here and create the new When Is It helper. So we can go in here and we can type it in, When Is It, and give it a name. I'll just do this one, When Is It Demo, and click Configure. Now, what you're going to see is that this is all there is to it, all right? All you do is select a date with this. It's very, very simple. It cannot be any easier to use. So you can either select a custom date or a date time field, whichever you need. Typically, this is something related to an appointment, and I'll show you how this becomes useful in just a minute. So it works off of one of the date or date time fields. So I'm just going to grab this expiration date field as an example, and we'll go ahead and create the helper. Now, if we look here, this is the little goal link. This is to deploy it in Infusionsoft, and then these are the goals that it fires. So if we click the little goal link, that will show us the API goals that are triggered by this helper, so that when you set it up in Infusionsoft, you have these links to copy and paste in. Okay, now here's what it does. It's really simple. It's going to trigger off 4 different API goals, potentially up to 4, right? So when it looks at a date for a contact, it's going to say, is this date in the past? Is this date in the future? Is this date today? Or is this date empty? Okay, now the reason this is important is when you're booking events and you need to see if that event for the person has already occurred. If they've already booked an event with you in the past, that field would still have data in it from the previous go around. And so knowing how to treat that person based on their event booking history with you is what this is meant for. Okay, so think of it for anybody that does event handling. We've got a client that does weddings and needed to be able to look at these event bookings that he has with his clients and know if he's already booked an event with them, and that sort of thing. Now, you might have other types of uses as someone that potentially does strategy sessions or books appointments with clients, and maybe the first appointment is free, as maybe an attorney consult or something like that, and if they have another one that you want to handle it differently. So by looking at that field that you use when you go to book an appointment, if it's been booked before, you would know that based on some of this data, right? So this is really, really simple. This is all it does. It looks at a date for a contact and tells you whether it was in the past, in the future, if that date is today, or if that date field is left empty. Okay, so now let's take a look at how you would set this up in Infusionsoft. You would first copy the HTTP link like that. I've set up a campaign here just to make things a little simpler and go quicker in the demo, but I already have a campaign. Let's just presume that a tag is applied to set it. And then inside of here, I would drop in an HTTP snippet, and I can come in here and just paste in the link that we grabbed from MyFusion Helper and set it to ready, and that would be what would be necessary there. And then it's going to trigger off these different goals, right? And so now we just respond to those goals, and those goals, we would set those. So we'd come in here and we'd set these all up. First of all, it's going to be MyFusion Helper is going to be used for the integration on all of them. And then we'd come back in here once again and click the little goal link and grab those. So this is the is empty, so we can copy that, and we can come over here and paste that in. Okay, and we can do the same thing for here and just walk through them. So this is today, we'd copy that one and paste that in. Okay, remember to make sure this always says MyFusion Helper. These API goals always will use MyFusion Helper, always lowercase, no spaces, etc. Now, the reason we put a number in here, some people don't quite understand this. Well, how come you've got a number in there? Why isn't it just is today? Well, the reason you have a number is this number ties back to, if I come out of here, you'll see this number ties back to the ID of the helper itself. And the reason we put that number in there is that allows you to use this when is it helper multiple times in multiple campaigns, and each one of them would trigger unique API goals. Okay, so that's why we put that number inside these API triggered goals. All right, so let's go back in and take a look at some kind of use cases for this. Okay, so as I said before, there really are not that many examples for this one. It's a very straightforward helper. It's very, very specific, and it's really specific to checking appointment bookings. That's when the most common uses of it are. That's why we created it. That's what our client needed, and we've had some others using it for similar type of things. So checking appointment bookings, understanding which ones have already fired, which ones are coming up, that type of stuff, and being able to automate around that. Now, we'd love to hear other use cases. So if you come up with another use case for it, then let us know. One of the things that you can also do with this is use it to scan a list of evergreen event data. So if you use evergreen promotions and where somebody comes into a funnel and you set the date when they come in, and then they get 3 or 4 days of a promotion or something like that, you could also kind of scan a list of event data like that and understand who's still got those events coming up or whose events have already passed. That type of thing would also be available. And just if you need to segment data by date, and I'm not sure of the best use for this, but that's what it would allow you to do. So again, most common use case is dealing with appointments or strategy sessions, and checking their future or past intent. But if you come up with some other stuff, please don't hesitate to let us know. And in the meantime, I hope this was helpful for you in understanding how to use it. And if you need more help, just reach us on the help desk at help@myfusionsolutions.com.